Radiohead, a band that can make the world feel like it's collapsing or floating at the very same moment. Their songs stretch and twist your thoughts, pulling at your emotions until ordinary moments start to feel strange, beautiful, and a little unsettling. Some people spend years trying to understand Radiohead, and even then, the music keeps slipping just out of reach. But maybe that's the point, because listening to Radiohead doesn't always feel like hearing music. Sometimes it feels more like stepping into a thought experiment, a space where sound and modern life begin asking questions about each other. Radiohead formed in Oxfordshire in the 1980s, eventually emerging in the 1990s as one of the most distinctive bands of their generation. By the time OK Computer arrived in 1997, their music had started capturing a new kind of anxiety, one tied to technology, modern systems, and quiet pressures of everyday life. Around that time, Thom Yorke often spoke about feeling uneasy about the direction the world seemed to be heading. You can hear that tension clearly and no surprises. The melody is gentle, almost like a lullaby. But the lyrics describe someone quietly worn down by routine, longing for an escape from the subtle suffocation of modern life. Calm music, restless thoughts. That contrast is where Radiohead's philosophy often begins. But to understand that philosophy, it helps to understand the people who built it. Radiohead is 5 distinct voices drawn into one. Thom Yorke, the band's frontman and principal lyricist, brings an almost unsettling emotional transparency to his vocals, capable of shifting between fragile falsetto and restless urgency in a single breath. Yet the band's sound would be unthinkable without the contributions of its other members. Colin Greenwood anchors the music on bass with a quiet, instinctive precision, while his brother Johnny Greenwood operates in an entirely different register, one of restless reinvention. Johnny's guitar playing is famously eclectic. He can shred with brittle intensity in one moment and dissolve into shimmering noisescapes the next, treating the guitar less an instrument and more as a site of experimentation. His interests extend far beyond rock. He is also a celebrated composer of orchestral and film scores, and that breadth bleeds directly into Radiohead's sonic palette, pushing the band towards sounds that resist easy categorization. Ed O'Brien layers texture and atmosphere, adding a harmonic richness that gives many of the band's songs their sense of suspended, drifting space. And Philip Selway's drumming moves fluidly between precise, almost mechanical patterns and something far more human and irregular, grounding even the most abstract compositions without ever flattening them. Together, these 5 musicians share a common philosophy, that a song is never quite finished, and that discomfort, sonic, emotional, structural, is a creative tool rather than a problem to be solved. That openness to uncertainty built into the band at every level, and is precisely what allows Radiohead's music to feel so alive and so genuinely difficult to pin down. Critics and listeners alike have responded to this quality with a kind of devotion that goes beyond typical fandom. Radiohead are not simply heard, they are studied, debated, and returned to, because their music offers no single interpretation, only an invitation to keep listening. Radiohead songs often feel less like statements and more like environments, places where emotions and ideas unfold. Take everything in its right place. The repeating chords sound stable at first, but the vocals are fragmented and looping, as if language itself is struggling to organize the experience. It feels like a mind trying to bring order to chaos. Or listen to How to Disappear Completely. The song drifts slowly while Yorke repeats, "I'm not here. This isn't happening." That phrase actually came from advice REM singer Michael Stipe once gave Yorke as a way to cope with stage anxiety. Inside the song, it becomes something larger, a moment when reality feels distant, almost unreal. In both cases, the music doesn't explain the feeling, it places you inside it. If Radiohead's music feels philosophical, it's partly because the questions it explores are deeply modern. Take Idioteque. The frantic electronic rhythm feels almost like an alarm, urgent and unstable. Yorke sings about panic, catastrophe, and environmental collapse. Released in 2000, the song captured a growing cultural anxiety that the systems shaping modern life were becoming too large and too fast to fully understand. That feeling hasn't really disappeared. If anything, it's intensified. Radiohead's music captures the emotional landscape that comes with it. a world full of information, constant motion, and quiet unease. And yet there's a strange paradox at the center of Radiohead's music. Songs that sound anxious, disorienting, even melancholic, often make listeners feel understood, not because they solve anything, but because they acknowledge the uncertainty, the mixture of beauty, confusion, and vulnerability that defines modern life. In that sense, Radiohead's music behaves a lot like philosophy, not offering answers, but creating space to notice the questions. Maybe that's the quiet philosophy hidden inside Radiohead's music. The songs don't offer answers. They open spaces, moments where sound, emotion, and uncertainty meet. And in those moments, the world can feel unfamiliar again, not simpler, but more visible. Maybe that's why Radiohead's music can feel so powerful. Their songs don't just express emotions, they explore them. Each track becomes a kind of experiment, one that asks what it feels like to exist in a world shaped by technology, uncertainty, and constant change. Not to solve those questions, but simply to experience them more clearly. And sometimes, that moment of clarity is enough to make the strange patterns of modern life feel a little more human.
When we started doing the recording properly, I bought a new notebook and put at the front hoping for happy accidents. And that's basically what we were trying to do.